Do the trashy pulp novels of the world have anything to offer? Are bestsellers all they're cracked up to be? Here at Terrible Book Club, we explore whether you really can judge a book by its cover, or its ridiculous synopsis. You ever passed a book and thought, ugh, who's reading this? We probably are.
Hello, and welcome to episode 67 of the Terrible Book Club. I'm Paris, and this is Chris.
Hello.
If this is your first time listening to the show, what we do here at the Terrible Book Club is read books that we assume will be bad. And this is based on their cover, title, summary, or some combination of those three. So we read books that we would never read under normal circumstances. Usually this experiment results in a disappointing read, but once in a while we end up liking the book. That did not happen today.
Oh boy. So this one, another in a series of screenplays?
We've determined that this show has been cursed by screenplays. If we're ever destined to read a screenplay, it's going to be a fucking nightmarish hellscape.
And I want to point out that all the times that we've had a screenplay, it's been kind of by surprise. We assume it's a book every time.
You're right.
And then we open it up and it's a screenplay and it's horrendous. It's unbearable.
Yeah, and actually, Chris, ignore the show notes. So I actually haven't gotten explicit consent to reveal who recommended this to us, so we're gonna say this one is also an anonymous recommendation.
Chris from the future here chiming in to say that this book was recommended to us by Bob from the Books, Beards, and Booze podcast, which you should check out if you would like to listen to some more book-based podcastery. Future Chris out.
Of this book, where we thought it was going to be a book, and then it turned out to be a screenplay, and it also turned out to be
it was a whole Matryoshka doll of surprises, one inside the other.
Yeah, Russian nesting doll of horrors.
We should say that originally we were planning to do a different book that we mentioned at the end of the last episode.
Yeah.
We were going to do that book, and then we're not doing that book, Paris.
So, all right. So at the end of the last episode, you may remember we were discussing options for the next book, and I mentioned that it was probably going to be something called The Puppy Girl Farm. And you know what? I just couldn't do it. I just wasn't in a headspace where I could read 111 pages of interracial torture humiliation porn. I don't know if I'm ever going to be in that headspace. I mean, we've read some fucked up shit on this show, but I don't know, man. I am not right now. My headspace is not such that I can handle that.
I think even then, even if you were in whatever fucking headspace you would have to be in to handle that well, I'm not trying to kink shame, I guess, but at the same time.
No, same, but
that's that's kind of intense stuff to read. I think the line in the sand that I'm officially going to draw here is if it's explicitly for jerking off to. Well, no, because crawfish baby, right?
No, that's the thing. I feel like we've read a lot of explicit stuff, but I think, once again, this one, The Puppy Girl Farm was just so many layers of problems. It was just, man.
Yeah, if for some reason you thought Puppy Girl Farm was about, puppies that are female, and it's the farm they all live on, no. Well, yes, but no.
Yes,
it's not dogs.
It's not dogs. Yeah, I just, I'm sorry, listeners, but maybe we'll get there eventually. And I
don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, do we ever want to do any of this, Chris?
Sometimes, we get one that looks kind of silly from the. This one kind of looked silly from the outside.
Yeah, but man, once you pop off that first doll, the second one is.
You cannot stop until you've read the whole screenplay.
Yeah.
Why is it always a surprise screen? Why are these people publishing their screenplays as an ebook and not warning us that it's supposed to be a script for a movie?
Yeah, there's no warnings. You're just surprised you're reading a screenplay. So anyway, I'll leave the...
We should say what we read.
That's true. This time we read Selfie Showdown, a model combat throwdown by Kelcey Co. Also, combat was with a K. So a model combat throwdown, kind of like Mortal Kombat, but model combat.
Model combat.
Chris,
you better get over here, Paris.
Chris, for musicians, we're really bad at imitating popular theme songs on this show.
It's not the same theme. It goes da 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 ba 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 boo boo. It goes up at the end. It's
Chris,
different.
I would never believe that you're a musician if I had only heard you try to poorly recite theme songs on Terrible Book Club.
I'm not a singer.
Yeah, so today why I'm doing content warnings now when I already said we were talking about the other thing. This is all fucked up. Today's fucked up. We're doing a late recording. I've had a kind of a nutty couple weeks or months. I don't know.
You've been doing clown makeup for the past 2 weeks in your personal life, Paris. It's gonna put you in a weird space.
Okay, so full disclosure. I'm the lead makeup designer and tech for a local theater production. I haven't done theater in over a decade, but I got roped into this because a really good friend of mine asked me for a favor, and she has been a wonderful friend, has me over for holidays, has fed me and boozed me many times. She supports my band. So, I was like, sure, I'll get back into theater stuff. I'll do this for you. And it's been a bit more of a time commitment than I anticipated in terms of both number of days required and number of hours. So it's been kind of a lot to deal with that, the full-time job, the band, the podcast. So I'm a little harried. My apartment is in shambles. I haven't built my desk. I bought it 6 weeks ago and I still haven't built it. So I'm podcasting from my couch. I'm holding the mic, so sorry about all the hand noises.
Paris, how does it feel to make nightmares every night?
Actually, I will say the show is called The Revenger's Tragedy. And it's a satire. It's actually quite good. But the clowns are terrifying, and the show is pretty bloody too. So it's a good time. I guess if you're in the area of Boston, look it up or something. But I'm not gonna. Anyway.
Back to this thing.
God, yeah, back to this. So things have been a little crazy. Content warnings.
Yeah. Here we go.
Oh, out of sorts. All right, so predominantly we'll be discussing brutal physical fights between women, which will include injury, blood, and death.
Gore, too. Plenty of gore.
A lot of gore, and there's a lot of, I would say, vocabulary choices that may offend people. So a lot of negative stereotypes about women and men, I'd say. So, a lot of words like, bitch, whore, things like that. So, that.
Imagine if a guy that watched too much porn wrote a girl fight story, and you're pretty much there. That's it.
So let's I'm gonna read the summary. Oh, so here's the summary. During spring break, out to prove she's the best, a wicked femme fatale jeopardizes the fashion show, luring its participants into a deadly mixed martial arts model mashup called the Selfie Showdown, ultimately pitting hungry selfie models inside brutal MMA cage fights to the death for their shot at fame and fortune. South Carolina's Meg Jordan joins the showdown. We're just going to assume she's the cover model for this version.
There's no Meg in the book. There's no Meg in the book.
No, she's the... Okay, so this whole... I kind of want to talk a little bit about the author and just the whole fucking thing. So this author, Kelcey Co, has, I wouldn't say he has an empire, but a duchy based around girls.
What's the smallest thing you could be that still has a sort of kingdom, like a small fiefdom?
A duchy, yeah, which is like a fiefdom. A
couple acres.
Right. So it's and it's all based around girls fighting each other. So somehow he has the money to bankroll this weird thing where he creates the same story over and over again, everything. So it's books and screenplays and magazines and audio CDs and movies, apparently, although I can't actually verify that these movies exist because I cannot find them anywhere.
I think this is like a out of the back of his truck DVD kind of thing. Like, you might find him wherever this dude lives. I'm assuming Florida. Oh, no, Ohio. I'm sorry. It's Ohio. It's most definitely Ohio.
Ohio, the Florida of the Midwest.
Yeah. Sorry, Ohio.
Sorry, Ohio.
You have a lot to answer for in this episode.
Dude,
I'm sorry.
So much. So this guy just puts all of his money and time into creating the same story over and over again. So it'll be like, girls fighting, but they're demons. Girls fighting, but they're zombies. Girls fighting, but it's sorority girls. Teen girls. It's kind of all in there. And it all feels really creepy and exploitative. I'm really hoping that these models and actresses got paid a fucking great fee to take part in these, like, photo shoots and audiobooks and movies. I mean, he's got to be paying them well, because why else would anyone do this shit? There's no way. Like, it's all this, like, it's fucking, like, D grade. Does anyone remember that guy that used to give out free porn promo CDs after heavy metal shows? God, what the fuck was that guy's name? Chris, you know this guy, right?
I did not know about this guy. What are you talking about?
Oh, he's like some weird porn promoter.
Was this local to Boston or just any?
Yeah, it was like Worcester, Boston.
Oh, no, I've never met this guy.
Oh my God, I have one of these DVDs still. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, good.
Because when I was he was just handing them out after a show, and I took one because I didn't know what it was. And I remember...
And then you put it in the DVD player.
I mean, I was a teenager, so I didn't know.
Oh, good. Oh,
yeah.
So he's handing it out to... Oh, good. He's not verified.
Yeah, I don't know that it was any... I feel like it was just trailers for porn. Damn it. What the fuck was this guy's name? Anyway, this is unrelated, but my point is that...
here's the Ohio version of him.
Yeah, this is the Ohio version of this, and... It's weird. So our descriptions are probably not doing doing this concept great justice. So you can go to girlfights.club to see the full array of media that this man has.
.com was already taken, I suppose.
Yeah, .club. So that's what we're working with here. This guy who clearly has a weird fixation on women fighting. The book's intro kind of gives you a great sense of what you're in for. So also, that's right. So remember at the beginning when I read the summary and it was like, Meg Jordan joins us. There are like 9 different versions of this same exact screenplay book with different models on the cover.
It's like trading cards, but a screenplay?
I guess.
Trading screenplays? Collect them all.
Collect them all. And they're also different prices. I got one that was 99 cents.
Is he putting a monetary value on like the hotter ones or something?
No, it's weird. It's kind of a... I feel like it was split down the middle, or there were a couple that were $2.99, and then there were some that were 99 cents. So naturally, I bought the 99-cent one. Like, why not? Or maybe there were some that were more.
And this is all on the same platform, right? It's not like different platform pricing.
Yeah, I mean, you can get it on different platforms, but no, on Amazon, there were several different versions of the same exact thing with different covers, different prices. He mentioned on his website that some of his movies that he made, which are, again, the same thing, were available on Amazon Prime, and so I tried to find it, but it said the content's no longer available. He has a ton of IMDb credits for all this stuff, but it doesn't really seem to exist. I don't know. And then the IMDb
is quite a different place to be.
The Internet Movie Data
Double Penetration.
No, please. My soul. But the IMDb seemed to suggest that these movies were actually like stitched together footage from a bunch of different places and times, including stock footage. So there was like a trivia, because you know how IMDb's have trivia sometimes for people? Mm-hmm. There was a trivia note, and it said that particular film was made of stock footage from here, and then this scene was filmed in like 2000, and this one was in 2005, and this one was here with this person. So I don't know that they're much like this book screenplay thing. Not a coherent narrative.
That is Kelcey himself, right? Like, yeah. That's the only person that would know that and upload it to IMDb.
Yeah, it's just very strange. This is it's very much like the last screenplay thing we read. I don't know. We're cursed by fucking screenplays disguised as books.
Stop doing this to us.
Stop,
Whoever's doing this, please stop.
Please.
All of you. Why is it like, is screenplays just like the medium for like, I can't write a book, so I'm going to write a movie instead?
Yeah,
because
I think
that's
so.
easier?
I think people think it's easier because they mostly just have to focus on dialogue. And I don't know.
He really focused on the dialogue here. We're definitely going to have to read some scenes out loud here at some point.
All right, so sorry, we spent a lot of time
setting it up,
giving you a setup. So here's the book's intro.
All caps, by the way.
After you get through all the ads at the beginning of the book for all of his other girl fight products. All right, so here's the intro. Based on many of the true behaviors exhibited by real-life modeling cliques based out of Columbus, Ohio, who are fictionally pitted against each other for an opportunity at a multi-million-dollar contract with an international modeling agency in the girl fights, the book banned from every Ohio modeling Facebook group because it exposes the truth about their secret society called the Clique. To oppose this book means automatic membership into this dangerous clique. They welcome your invite. #MeToo.
The hashtag #MeToo at the end is so insulting.
What the fuck is even happening with this? And mind you, none of this is brought up in the book again except for the multi-million-dollar contract that they fight over. All the rest of this is never brought up again. There's no Me Too. There's no modeling cliques. There's no Facebook groups. What?
So I'm assuming Kelcey tried to like post this around to modeling Facebook groups, as like he said, oh, it's an expose of all the catty behavior of all you modeling girls, and they were like, hey, dude, fuck off. And so now he feels slighted by the clique, and now he's put this book out as revenge. I don't know. I don't know. But why is it like, oh, I got banned from every Ohio modeling Facebook group?
Probably because you're a fucking exploitative weirdo, dude.
How many of those are there?
I don't know. This came out
why are you so specific?
When did this come out? Oh, it says it's set in 2014, but the copyright was 2018, so this is fairly recent.
You had to go back in the past to really.
And then right after the intro, there's a photo of a model with some pretty serious underboob, and then a weird disclaimer saying that any models depicted may not represent the characters in the text, and also that they may not endorse or sponsor the book. I'm not sure why that was necessary, but
I don't know. Probably because some of those models were like, "Yeah, I'll let you take a picture of me. Wait, you used it for your dumb book? Please don't."
And then there's again several pages of ads for his magazines and things around the same topic, which is just girls fighting. It's just anyway.
Did you like girl fights? Would you like more girl fights? Because I have all of the girl fights.
So Chris, do we want to attempt to outline the plot?
I think we should just read the opening.
All right. Okay.
How about this? I'll be DJ Drift and Isaac White. I don't know if you want to do like the scene setup.
There's another intro after more ads. I forgot.
Yes.
I'm gonna read this too.
Okay.
All right. Sorry everyone. There's a second intro. It is titled "Fight Like a Girl." Throughout history, the phrase "fight like a girl" and even "girl fight" has held many different meanings. As it relates to this book, they both represent the struggle that these characters face to overcome the struggle thrown at them through action and dialogue, representing actual fights between girls.
The struggle to overcome the struggle.
Rest easy, my friend. There is a purpose to this madness after all. So, if you find yourself lost, please start the book from the cover and don't miss a single page. You might misunderstand the actual meaning behind it. Become part of the solution, not the problem. Educate and inform yourself today.
What about girl fights? And I was definitely misunderstanding everything that was happening here, because I think it was very hard to understand anything that was happening here.
Yeah. So there's like a couple of other mentions in the text where he's implying that this whole thing he's created is very feminist. And
Why?
I don't know
Because
where
they're
that's
fighting?
coming. Yeah, because the girls are fighting and they're not just in skanky, slutty costumes. They're really fighting for blood, and that's feminist, even though the whole context in which these fights are taking place is decidedly not. So dude, this is not, I would not say this is positive for women at all. This is
Hashtag me too.
Hashtag me too.
Paris, can I read like the epitaph that happens right after that intro?
Sure.
So I'm gonna have to put a voice on for this one. Because...
Okay, have fun.
All right, here we go. After that intro, there's another little note here before we get started. May God bless the souls of anyone daring to read the unimaginable horrors contained throughout these pages, and damn to hell any fool brave enough to act upon them.
I'm really glad you hired Wilford Brimley to fucking...
That's not Wilford Brimley. Here's how it's done as Wilford Brimley. May God bless the souls of anyone daring to read the unimaginable horrors contained throughout these pages, and damn to hell any fool brave enough to act upon them. Diabetes. Eat your oatmeal.
That's perfect.
That's Wilford Brimley.
Oh, thank you. So, all right. I'm gonna, if it's cool with you, I'm gonna read the stage notes, the setting notes. Okay.
So yeah, you're gonna start us off with the stage notes, and then you'll be sorority sister number 1 too.
Okay. External: Chi Omega Epsilon, establishing night. Titles: Columbus, Ohio, 2014. Spring break. Wide angle on a large sorority party house with Greek lettering. Chi Omega Epsilon Co. Close up on a large pink LED sign. Chi Omega Epsilon. We hear loud noises of college kids' chants. Located at the end of Columbus, Ohio, in an undeveloped section. Pan from the front of the house and zoom into the garage. All 3 doors open, flashing multicolored lights from a distance as we zoom. A fight cage centered in the garage, surrounded by rowdy drunk college students. A set of 10 chairs sit opposite the cage door. Outside on the deck sits a series of chairs full of college kids drinking alcohol. A makeshift full bar with tables to its right. A DJ booth with DJ Drift to the southwest of the cage door. Top 40s, techno, and dubstep music play. We can only assume simultaneously.
Yeah, all at once. The ultimate mashup.
A small group of sorority sisters block a bunch of hormone-raving males from entering the deck. Sorority Sister 1. Let's get this party started! Chi Omega Epsilon now at your service! Yeehaw! A slew of costumed, sexy sorority sisters pour drinks, getting rowdy in every way possible as men pour into the club.
DJ Drift. Chi Omega Epsilon is the hottest party spot for spring break!
We see Tori, an average girl in her mid to late 30s, ground and pounding the face of a crying cosplay fight girl, Cherry, inside the fight cage. I guess I'll be Tori.
Yes.
Tori. I'm not a crummy bartender in this town so I can be beat by losers like you. DJ Drift runs into the cage and pulls Tori off of Cherry.
DJ Drift. What are you doing? These are supposed to be playful and fun.
She's dressed to kill.
She's dressed as a video game character, crazy chick.
Oh, well, that video game sucks anyway. DJ Drift picks up Tori and helps Cherry to her feet. Exterior, Chi Omega Epsilon, bar. Tori walks over to the bar as DJ Drift follows. She sits on his lap.
You seem a little edgy today?
I'm tired of this small town. No chance of getting out.
Well, maybe our luck will change. I made a phone call to my friend Ryan. Best I can do.
Why are men such pricks? This catches the attention of Isaac White, a discreet and nervous, big burly man.
Why are women such tramps?
Excuse me, fat ass, do I know you?
No, and I wouldn't want to know your ugly ass.
I wouldn't want to know your fat ass if you were the last fat ass on earth.
Really, how old are you?
Old enough to kick your ass. She sees bottles of liquor all around Isaac. Where'd you get all that alcohol?
I help myself. It's a perk of being a government assassin. Federal jurisdiction.
Not at my bar, dear. This is private property. That's $500 worth of liquor there, easily. How do you plan to pay for it?
Pay? Ha! You're lucky I don't shut this place down for tax evasion. And I know those little hot Latinas aren't legal.
You don't want me to tell Boss Lady Jackie?
Hey, asshole, just pay the lady. I'll tell you what. Stop getting your panties twisted all in a bunch. Here's a 50 for your trouble.
Isaac slams a $50 bill on the bar. You prick! You owe me for that alcohol!
Get it from your sugar daddy right there. I'm not a sugar daddy. That's the same guy. I'm sorry. We're just friends. Yeah, that's what she said.
Max, going out tonight is a special night. It's amateur night, and anyone who wants a piece of me gets it. But first, this fat ass is mine. DJ Drift returns to his booth as Isaac takes a couple sips.
Sorry, baby girl. Gotta leave. I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover.
Fight me, beat me, and I'll erase your debt.
Nah, I think I'll just keep pissing you off, sweet cakes.
But if I win, you'll have to marry me. I always wanted to know the secrets of the world's deadliest assassin.
Now you've done gone batshit crazy. A wife is the last thing I need. 99 problems and you ain't one. Ladies and gentlemen, do we have a special night for you? That fat-ass Isaac there just stiffed my girl Tori on a $500 bar tab.
Boos ensue and many patrons throw items at Isaac.
If he doesn't pay, the boss will have Tori's ass. Tori has told me to make tonight amateur fight night. But before you hungry chicks get your shot, Tori has an ultimatum for fat-ass. Fighter, if he wins, then his debt is paid. But if he loses, he has to put up with Tori as his wife. And, well, I guess he gets to stiff her anyway.
The crowd roars and laughs.
Isaac, well, now that you made it public, I look forward to kicking your ass.
You can talk the talk, but can you walk the walk? She extends out her hand. I'll lead the way.
Very well. It can't hurt that face of yours any.
Tori leads him into the cage and they distance themselves.
Chi Omega Epsilon is proud to present its first mixed fight here as its first amateur fight night. Fat ass and crazy chick. Fight!
Isaac taunts her as she slowly stalks him.
Come on, sweetie. This I gotta see.
She throws a hard kick right kick to his chest, then quickly follows a kick to his nuts, and finally a series of Muay Thai knees slams him to the ground as she holds his arm. She armbars him and decides she'll just ground and pound, taking his arm with her. For every punch she utters each word, "Until death do us part!"
DJ Drift on mic. Tori, that's enough. You win. I called Saint Rachel. She'll marry you guys tomorrow.
Tori lifts Isaac's head off the ground by his shirt. He's moaning as his jaw is broken. Geez, dear, you'll want to get that checked out. A broken jaw isn't fun. Don't worry, I won't leave you. It's for better or worse, in good or bad health now.
Kill me.
It'll be so much fun with you alive. I've got big plans for us. She slams him to the ground, ferociously staring him down.
DJ Drift off mic. Damn. Friend zone for the second time this month. And scene.
And scene one. I don't think either of us intended to read all of that, but we did.
Honestly, that's the only way y'all are going to get the full picture of what the fuck is going on here. Because imagine that for about 90 more pages. Awful dialogue, like fight scenes that are... If that's the central point of your whole screenplay, why isn't there more effort put into talking about them? I guess you don't want, like, specific adjectives maybe in your fight scenes, but it's just very mechanical and dull sounding.
Like, what's a Muay Thai knee? Like, Muay Thai kick, there are so many different Muay Thai has a lot of techniques, and there's not just a single type of knee.
Well, he's very specific about the kick, because it was a hard kick, right kick. So... Which sounds more like a video game input combo.
Also, let's fucking recap what the fuck just happened.
Yes.
So
okay.
So the scene we just read was an illegal underground fight night and illegal bar at a sorority house in Columbus, Ohio. And they're planning on having girls fight each other, and then kind of the floor manager, Tori, challenges this random guy who says he is a government assassin to a fight. They fight, she beats him and breaks his jaw, and then they get married.
A perfectly reasonable series of events, Paris. What's the problem?
Yes.
That happens every day in Ohio. That's just a normal day.
I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on in Ohio. Any of y'all from Ohio, please fucking report back and tell me this is not what is going on in Ohio, because as far as I'm concerned, this is.
So for such a long time, even after I read this passage, Paris, like the rest of the book, it's Chi Omega Epsilon is referred to as like a bar you can get a job at.
It is, yeah. So that's one of the confusing parts is that just one. There's another confusing aspect to all this that they introduced pretty early on, which is the characters tell us that, oh well, the state has declared martial law, and now the mob runs the town. And I was like, wait, those are two very distinct concepts. Like,
yeah, that's different.
Martial law means that the state or federal government has superseded all local governments and has taken over in a very militarized fashion. The mob running the town is a totally separate idea. That's obviously non-governmental.
But then there's police.
There's a third aspect to this where there are police officers who are characters. There's like Lieutenant Mom and
that's really hurt. Like she's just Lieutenant Mom.
Officer Stevens, who's also a woman, and a few other people, like one or two other people, and they seem to be enforcing laws or trying to, but then
normal laws like don't murder. There was a gunshot.
They're not enforcing that. No, they're crooked, right? But they several times talk to characters about breaking laws but then they also reference the fact that the mob runs the town, but then also that martial law has been declared. So I'm not.
But none of this is really of any consequence, right? Like if we didn't tell you any of that, you wouldn't have been missing much in terms of the overall story.
Well, no, I think that it matters that it's unresolved because people are constantly being murdered because these fights are fights that end in the death of one of the girls. So they're constantly having these girl fights where one of them dies. And
they literally just throw them in the corner.
They throw bodies into a pile in the corner. And I just feel like...
not really doing a lot to cover up your shit. So.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, honestly, I feel like it would have to be a heavily mob-run town for that to be a thing, and even then they'd be paying a lot of money to the mob. I mean, if martial law was declared, that certainly would not be flying. Like, I feel like this would not go unnoticed. And I also don't know how the neighbors are like that. In one part of the book, a neighbor calls about a disturbance because someone shot a gun, but they haven't been calling about all the murders and the fight rings and the illegal bar, but the gunshot
just the one or two. Even though there's more gunshots that happen that kind of go unreported, because Isaac likes to pull a gun and just shoot people all the fucking time.
Yeah, so he's a government assassin, but he's very open about it and is just constantly shooting people publicly.
He's not like a secretive hitman. He just pulls a gun and kills you.
Yeah. There's a bunch of all the I don't even know if I would call these characters. They're really just names. And
even then, they're not even that well kept track of by the fucking author himself.
It's true. That's true. The text will frequently reference someone who is definitely not in the scene, or a person we've never heard of before, and you're just like, who? What? Sometimes
you'll be reading a fight scene between two characters, and then it reads as if one of the characters is kicking their own ass.
Yep. We have so the whole plot. We told you about the first scene. And then Isaac and Tori, who, get married in that first scene, like a year after that, they've made the fights deadly. So every time two girls fight, one of them must die.
And they're like streaming it out on the internet for money.
Yes, they have pay-per-view viewers somehow. And then they have people coming there and making bets, and they're making millions of dollars on it. And they lure women into this competition by offering them a multi-million-dollar Ohio modeling contract.
Specifically Ohio. Specifically like some kind of like Ohio fashion show. So they're fighting for access to a competition to maybe get a modeling contract.
Yeah, ladies, just cross the border. Pennsylvania, Michigan.
There must be other ways to get a modeling contract, right, Paris?
Yeah, just go across the border. Fucking Pennsylvania, Michigan, they can help you out. I'm sure. I'm sure that modeling there does not involve
There must be other photographers willing to, and other ways to get access to this industry, unless, I don't know, they're not letting anyone out of Ohio anymore in this world.
Well,
is that what it is?
Well, if the state declaring martial law thing really was turned up to 11. Ohio is now just a sovereign nation where you must fight other women for modeling contracts because there are no other jobs and you can't go to a neighboring state.
Yeah, as far as I know, the only available jobs for women are a model and bartender, also maybe nun.
Yeah, no, she's not really a nun. She's just religious. Saint Rachel. So there's like everything from...
Oh, also cop. I'm sorry. Cop is also a job for women.
Right, cop is also a profession. There's everything from twins fighting each other to...
There's the goth girl and the anime girl who are friends but fight each other because no one's really friends at all, period. Like, there's no one willing to, like, not kill each other for a modeling contract.
Yes, everyone is absolutely on board to murder one another, but they vacillate between being best friends and going, oh my god, don't you love cheeseburgers? So, like, I'm gonna gouge your eyes out, bitch, and then someone gouges their eyes out with a screwdriver.
At the drop of a hat. Before even the hat has hit the ground from the drop, they could, like, the tone shifts are so jarring.
Yeah. I mean, no one talks like a human being. I mean, you heard us read that.
Yes, imagine that all the time, but also with people, like, sort of changing alliances on a dime. Later on, Tori kills some girl because she, like, picks a fight with her at a bar for, I don't fucking remember what reason, because it's not important. Nope. It's just an excuse to get this girl in a cage with Tori. Tori is kind of, I guess, the protagonist / antagonist in this.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, Isaac and Tori are kind of the main characters, I think.
Anyway, in this particular scene that I'm mentioning, Tori kills some lady who's the girlfriend of a dude named Rick, and Rick is like, oh, I fucking hate you. You killed my girlfriend. How could you? And then Tori is like, no, listen to me. Get me girls to fight in this so you can get your revenge on me by having them fight me. Also,
do we want to talk about the worst deal of all time?
No, because this happened slightly before, and it's just as fucking confusing, and the next part happens after. Anyway, Rick hears this, and he's like, yeah, okay, that sounds like a reasonable plan instead of me just killing you right here. Also, let's make out?
Yes.
Right?
Because this is how human beings interact.
She, like, blew a kiss at him, and he's like, you murdered my girlfriend, let's make out. Also, I want to kill you? What?
Yeah.
What happened? Am I missing something?
No, this is just how human beings act, Chris. Didn't you know?
I didn't skip any beats there. I didn't skip one fucking second.
Nope. And then right after this, the worst deal of all time. So Rick is like, I want revenge.
I asked you, like, I read this before you, Paris, and I was like, listen, I need you to try and, like, pay attention really hard when some money is mentioned so you can tell me what the fuck was supposed to be the deal here, because I don't understand what the deal was.
So Rick says, I want revenge, and Isaac is like, yeah, we've both been wronged by Tori, because at this point, I don't know, Tori has, like, stabbed Isaac in the back at some point. Whatever. And Isaac says to Rick, for 100 grand, I can solve both of our problems. And Rick says, make it 50 grand and you got yourself a deal. And Isaac says, done. Tori shall haunt me no more. And then there's like a third part of the deal, right? Like something else happened. I forget what the third part is, but it's like...
Tori comes back in and she's like, I know about the 50/100 grand thing. I'll pay you more than him to also kill me?
No, and then Rick is like, I'll do it for free. I don't fucking know, but it was
he's
like
the worst negotiator that there's ever been.
Yeah, it was
also,
strange.
I'm actually kind of unclear. Who was paying who? Was it Rick that was paying?
I think, yeah. Okay,
Isaac, or was Isaac paying Rick in this case? Is that why Rick said make it 50 grand? So he had to pay Rick.
But also, like, when you bargain, your first offer isn't half of what was just on the table.
So even if we're misunderstanding something, the fact that it's so fucking unclear is a major point against this whole thing, because I don't know. Setting aside the whole Rick Tori thing, I still don't know what Rick's fucking motivation is anymore.
Well, do you remember the author like tried to make the Rick and his girlfriend Bridget, I think they tried to make that more plot relevant to Isaac being a government assassin, because it was like Isaac was actually hunting Bridget because she was posing as a government agent and got Isaac's friend Jill imprisoned because Bridget said she was a special agent, bought guns from Jill, but then wasn't really a special agent and was gun running in Afghanistan, and then got Jill arrested because she sold guns to someone who then sold them to people in Afghanistan.
Was Jill a government agent?
If
she's Isaac's friend? But then why would Jill get in trouble for it? Clearly wasn't that a sting operation for Bridget?
No, so maybe Jill isn't. I don't know. But honestly, none of it makes any sense, but that was also a part of the plot. It's not super relevant.
So this is like a detour that Isaac took to like open up an underground death fighting thing on his way.
He said he was bored, right? As a fucking super secret government assassin or whatever.
So this super secret government assassin is going to openly broadcast death fights.
Yes.
In a city controlled by martial law / mob rule / the police a little bit, maybe.
Also, remember when by the way, all of a sudden, there's one chapter where the goth girl, the anime girl, and some of the other girls have like a satanic
Raven and
ritual
Moonlight.
Raven and Moonlight, yeah. Have a satanic ritual in a graveyard? Because
that's what you goth bitches do, right?
Because sure,
Paris
why not?
has one. You should tell. No, I'm sorry.
Fuck off.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to be funny.
No, but so that it's like, why not? Why not at this point? Sure. I honestly, at that point in the book, I was like, this whole thing feels like an episode of Terrible's Torture where we're forced to cobble together random literary elements.
Honestly, this just came out of our brains before we could even do it. Like, this is like a Lovecraftian before time Inception thing where we're gonna draw this out of a pile in like a year or something. It's just gonna
fuck. Actually,
and we'll have completed the circle.
For anyone who doesn't know, Terrible's Torture is a video segment that we do for patrons, where we kind of play like the game Scenes from a Hat from Whose Line Is It Anyway, where we have 4 hats of things, and it's like character, content, setting, and then a wild card. And this totally feels like the first, like, for character we pulled out like female MMA fighters, and then for content it was like an illegal fight ring, and then for fucking setting it was like Columbus, Ohio, and then for the wild card it was like main character is a government assassin.
No one makes sense is what the wild card is.
or that, yeah. And then so all right, so
we're going to draw that at a Terrible's Torture, and then we're going to have to be the ones to write this. We're Kelcey Co. in the future.
Oh my
it's
God.
like Dark on Netflix. Kelcey's going to come back from the future, and it's going to be me, and he's going to be like, you're just always going to do this, Chris. You can't escape it. I'm just going to be like crying and going like, no, you can't. I can't be the one responsible for this.
I'm never going to be you.
And then
you'll see.
Yeah.
The Stranger.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I just finished watching season 2.
Oh,
we don't want to. Well, hopefully that didn't spoil anything. I don't think it spoiled anything for anybody. Yeah. But if you haven't watched Dark, please do. It's
pretty good.
Show.
Watch it in German.
Yeah, watch it in German. God, yeah, don't fucking watch it with overdubs.
Anyway,
and then there's supposed to be this subplot where Isaac's trying to kill Tori, but Chris makes a wonderful point in the notes that was like, Isaac, you're always pulling your gun out and shooting everybody anyway. Why not just kill Tori? I mean, if there's no consequences ever for anyone for killing people, why does there have to be any subterfuge?
He just shoots people when they like don't die quick enough in the ring in his death fights. It's always like 2 to the heart, 1 to the head. Also, so if you don't care about that, what's the difference with shooting Tori? She's not protected. She's not one of the informants or whatever. She's just some lady that forced you to marry her because you lost a fight.
You find out that she actually is an informant for the local police, but I just, again, if there are no consequences, there's no reason to hide it. Like, if you're already killing people left and right constantly, then just kill Tori.
Why do you have to give a dude like $100,000 or like he has to give you $100,000? I forget how that fucking deal works.
I don't know.
Why do you have to involve this like roundabout the tournament way, and there's also a chance that Tori would win anyway?
Right.
So just pull your gun and pop her, or I don't know, throw brass knuckles at yourself and fight her, because that's the other thing Isaac does all the time. In the middle of anything, he'll just pull some brass knuckles out of his pocket. It's like that Isaac chucks in the brass knuckles to make it more brutal. It happens like 5 separate times where Isaac just has to throw in some knucks. So I'm going to
palming them to everyone.
I'm going to do that in like every situation. I want to be more exciting now. If I'm bored at the office, just throw the brass knuckles in.
Hey, yeah, Chris, your fucking guitar students acting up, throwing some brass knuckles. Let's make it interesting, kids. Yeah. Uncle Chris is going to be here all day. Let's go.
Jesus Christ.
This is God, I can't even remember. Oh, right. And then at the very end, you learn that this whole thing was a setup because Isaac was actually tracking Jade, the woman who is victorious at the end. He was actually tracking Jade, the kickboxer, the whole time. He had been following her career, and he wanted her to win and to kill Tori. And this all was a setup, and they actually got married right before the end of the book. And I was just like, what?
Why? Why does that matter at all?
None of this. It doesn't. It really is like this whole thing really reads like a dream where there's just disconnected scenes happening, and there's no real continuity.
Can you explain to me the difference between? There's like 15 girls mentioned in this book, and the only ones with any sort of personality are like Tori, Raven, and maybe Moonlight, right?
And their personalities aren't really.
They're not personalities. It's Raven is goth, and Moonlight is a cosplayer, and Tori is the one that's talked about the most.
Yes, and then Jade is the kickboxer, and then there's also like Angel, who has a baby, and Moonlight also has a baby, and then and so I mean, these things just keep happening. Like, fights will happen, they're very boring, they're not exciting.
But there's a lot of gore because a lot of brass knuckles get thrown in, or bricks are smashing heads.
Yeah, but the gore isn't even...
Raven like squishes someone's braids in her fingers, and she's like, I'm squishing the braids. It's so cool.
Oh, and then Raven and Moonlight eat someone's heart that they murder in the ring. They, like, rip their heart out and they each
like with their bare
bite.
hands. There's a lot of, like, bare-handed feats of strength by, like, assumedly tiny women, right?
Yeah,
like...
So one of the things that stuck out to me. So, I do actually enjoy watching MMA, and I'm not into sports at all, but I do enjoy MMA. I find it really, find it really interesting, I guess. My ex was into it. He was a fucking fighter or whatever, so I got into it a little bit. And so what struck me in this is, you have these women with no training except for Jade the kickboxer and presumably Tori, no athletic training, who are models, so presumably fairly waify and small, and yet they're smashing cinder blocks and ripping skulls open and fucking do it. Like, some of the kicking techniques and stuff and like shit he describes, like, they're not gonna know how to do any of that. I don't get it. Like, if you put women in a or anyone in a situation who's not a trained fighter and tell them to fight each other, it's probably gonna be like pretty lame and not very brutal or exciting.
Hair pulling and slap fighting.
Yeah, a lot of like really weak punches because no one knows how to throw a punch, and like, honestly, I don't think anyone would die.
No one's gonna crack a skull open and like squish their brains in their hands.
Mm-mm.
I'm pretty sure.
No.
Even with maybe with the concrete brick, I guess, but probably not with the brass knuckles, and certainly not with your bare hands.
It would. I don't know. I mean, I know that obviously these are circumstances where it's like, well, you kill the other person or you die. So sure, maybe things would get more interesting than I'm imagining. But yeah, like you're saying, these feats of strength and technique that are mentioned seem really, really impossible for these particular people. So this just goes on until finally Jade is victorious and kills Tori, and everyone else is dead, and Isaac and Jade, it seems like the author tried to set it up for like a sequel. Angel survives, some other people survive, but most people are dead.
People that we're not even going to mention because it barely matters. There's like a trio of like basic sorority girls that end up getting roped into it because they didn't fucking leave after they saw all the death fights. They just like hid in the bathroom for like, I don't know, a week or something. And there's a lot of dialogue in the text that's like, oh, killing all these stupid rich selfie models, like, fuck them, they deserve to die, like, the only girls that deserve to live are the ones who draw blood. There's this like I said, there's this weird like,
oh, girls that fight, this is like a feminist thing. And it's not, because you're all being controlled by a dude, and also I just don't understand the correlation.
Sometimes you're roped into it against your will, or
right.
Like, it's definitely exploitative in every sense of the word. So
especially since no one is winning anything. The modeling contract was all ruse anyway, and winning something with your fists isn't really any better than winning it with some other skill. So I don't really understand.
Even if the modeling thing was true, it's a chance to enter the competition to there's a separate fashion show to get the modeling contract. So you're just like allowed access to that? There must be other people getting into that without the death fights, right?
Right, yeah. So, I mean, maybe like the Miss America pageant has just gotten real out of hand, and now they need
every state has to have, like, a Mortal Kombat-ass fucking tournament to find, like, the one true model girl.
Yeah, so it's, like, no one's watching TV anymore, right? So, like, this is their way to get those viewers. Every state is its own fucking fiefdom, and every state has to have this like Mad Max fucking fight to the death snuff film shit happening, and then they advance to the swimsuit competition. It's all smooth sailing after that. Yeah, but you gotta really get through those brutal first round.
Do the male models have to do this, or is it all Zoolander for them?
Who fucking knows,
right?
Yeah. So that's kind of it. I mean, we already read one whole scene. I'm sure there are other points in this. I'm
gonna just like paw through this for a second, I guess, to see if there's anything else interesting to like clip out, because like it's mostly the same stuff, right?
Yeah. Well, while you're looking, I'll describe to them the end of the book. So it ends, and then there's more ads at the end, just like at the beginning, because why not? And my favorite ad at the end of the book is an ad with this fairly absurd statement. It's an ad for a short film by Kelcey Coe, of course, called Assassin Games. And the ad says, "From the guy who brought you the hottest selling 10-minute concept film of all time and sold 3 copies for $3,000 within its first year of release, another short concept horror parody film by Kelcey Coe." Is that not like a really strange flex? Like the strangest flex you've ever heard?
The weirdest flex, but okay, in the history of weird. Who did he sell 3 copies for $3,000 to?
And like selling 3 copies in a year is not an accomplishment, but also why would anyone pay $3,000 for a 10-minute film?
Is that what you paid to make them?
Chris, what if he's actually creating snuff films and we're just like laughing about this, but he's actually murdering girls? Like, this is actually, oh my god, Chris, this is actually happening.
I can't know. I refuse to live in that reality. No,
this is happening. He's actually pitting women against each other and murdering them, and he's writing about it like it's fiction, and that's how he's getting away with it.
I feel like someone would have called the police about all the bodies in the corner.
No, it's Columbus. They only care about gunshots, Chris.
That's true. Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I forgot how Columbus law works. All right, there's one part in here where one of the characters we didn't mention by name before, Tiffany, is introduced as an athletic cheerleader type. Lies on the bed playing video games, dressed in a cute gamer girl outfit. What is a gamer girl outfit, Paris? Please explain to me what a gamer girl outfit is.
Beats me, other than like real casual, right? Like, I don't know, t-shirt, jeans, and a hoodie. Like,
yeah, what is it?
It's kind of
what do you mean? Is it a Mario t-shirt? Like...
Oh, I mean, there's another point where he says that someone is dressed up as a cowboy costume, which is a great typo. I mean, I could just, you know what? I could just, let's just select a location, Chris. Can you see the locations in your electronic copy?
Yes, I can. Do you want to just like swing back and forth and I'll tell you what location I end up on randomly?
Yeah, sure.
All right, here we go. We'll do one each. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here we've shut the door on location 1557.
Okay, I am there.
Okay, so am I. Let's start from St. Rachel and Big Tony begin collecting monies from the fans.
All right, you're all the men and I'm all the women. This is going to be hard.
Okay, let me do the stage directing this time.
Okay, that would be helpful. Thank you.
St. Rachel and Big Tony begin collecting monies from the fans. Heather, Erica, and Jennifer slip into the girls' restroom during this time, unnoticed. Isaac White to the girls. You ladies and your friends are part of tonight's entertainment. Cute girls fighting to the death live on pay-per-view.
A girl fight to the death? Oh, this I gotta see. I do hope there's blood and guts.
Yes, freaky one. There will be plenty of blood and guts, and I will be the most obliged if you and your friends fight as well. Tiffany, Jade, Raven, and Alexandra rejoice in excitement, angering their friends Violet, Amber, Moonlight, and Brittany, still unaware their necessity.
Why, Jade, I train with you. And Violet, you're always telling me you could beat me in a real fight. Now's your chance. Tiffany, darling, we've been BFFs since preschool. Why? Nothing lasts forever. Like your firm body. Alexandra, what am I doing here? She said bring a friend so I can learn how to fight for the bigger fights. I figure you will be an easy win. Now I will lead Lucifer's daughters. Damn it, I can't.
You have to go with like 7 different voices in the span of one page. That was 7 different women, everybody.
Yeah, I gotta win for my baby. I can't wait to bash a girl's head in and squish through her brains. This will be so awesome.
Saint Rachel and Big Tony give Isaac the collected money. Isaac to his friends. These girls hating each other will bring in the big bucks from our broadcast audience. To crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, please make yourself at home and help yourself to anything you want at the bar. Please do so sparingly. There will be no restocking tonight. Fucking pick one.
Like, these dudes are paying fucking $5,000 to see women murder each other, and he's like, nah, only 2 drinks though. Nah, just like 2. Don't.
We didn't know. I only got
overboard.
1 case of Coors. All right, so don't.
I know you all.
Listen, there's White Claw coming in a couple of minutes, but you gotta be patient.
I know you all paid $5,000 for a seat, but sorry.
Help yourself to anything. Only take a little bit. All right, that's all I'm going to read from that. You get to pick the next location.
Oh, sorry. It's really hard to do 8 different stupid girl voices.
All right, next time in the next scene, I will be all the girls.
All right. Let's see. I'm at location 2052.
Okay.
All right. So you're Isaac again, and I'll be Tiffany.
No, I'll be the girls. You get to be Isaac.
Okay, I'll be Isaac in stage directions.
Okay,
right.
So we'll start with Tiffany saying, "Forgive me."
Oh, okay.
Forgive me.
I wasn't.
What's wrong?
I wasn't expecting that. I'm sorry. Hang on. Whew. You want it? Sorry. Could you do that again?
Forgive me.
Tiffany picks up the knucks and punches Amber in the chest, where she doubles over to be elbowed to the floor by Tiffany. Then Tiffany stances, throwing the knucks back to Isaac.
You better stay down.
Tired and yawning, Big Tony throws a knife into the cage to the growing excitement of the fans. It's now or never. One of you gotta gut the other. Tiffany kicks the knife away as Amber grabs for it, then crushes her nose with a vicious stomp. Blood from Amber's nose flows everywhere. Tiffany edges closer to Amber as she blocks Amber's punch. She kicks at Amber, tripping Tiffany. What? Tiffany falls immediately, eyeing the knife.
Wait,
Amber begins to climb Tiffany, and they wrestle around, moving closer to the knife. Amber gets on top and grabs the knife. She lies on top of Tiffany, slamming her lower body into her as Tiffany tries to grab the knife. Despite Tiffany's attempts, Amber manages to slice into Tiffany's shin. Tiffany pushes her off of her and begins to crawl away. Amber grabs at her ankles but receives a swift kick in the face from Tiffany, instead knocking her to the floor. Tiffany quickly gets to her feet as Amber follows, favoring her now bloody lip. Amber throws a jab at her with the knife, but Tiffany catches her hand and the knife. Tiffany snaps the wrist, leaving Amber to scream in horrific pain, throwing the knife a distance.
Today wasn't the day to mess with me.
Tiffany kicks Amber in the chest, doubling her over to receive a harsh series of knee jabs. Tiffany wraps Amber's hair in her free hand and spins her back against her. She picks Amber up over her shoulders and allows her body to dangle in the hair as she grasps well at her face and crotch. Tiffany squats and slams Amber down over her knee, instantly snapping her spine. Amber spurts a massive amount of blood and dies.
And tomorrow isn't looking good either.
Tiffany rolls her off her knee aggressively. That Amber's lifeless body rolls a couple of times to and on the floor. Big Tony drags away Amber by the ankles. Tiffany takes her seat.
Saint Rachel. God forgives my sweet angel. God? Jade to herself. Whatever happened to thou shalt not kill?
Oh, shit. Alexandra, time to man up. Add some sass and spice. Alexandra and Brittany enter.
Brittany. Look what's become of us. Best friends forever. We're trying to kill each other? For what? I mean, where's the contract? How do we know if there even is one? Alexandra. Modeling is all about taking risks. Brittany. If they choke me, I'll play dead.
You better stop talking and get to killing.
Alexandra. It's worth a shot.
Alexandra grabs Brittany by the throat and acts like she's strangling her to death. Brittany slowly falls to the floor, salivating to appear she's foaming at the mouth. Well, she's choked out quick.
Jade. She's faking. She's still breathing. Alexandra. Why? I'm gonna really kill you now.
The crowd chants, bullshit!
Jade. Curry, it's all about numero... Oh, sorry. It's all about numero uno. I spit on my screen by accident. It looked like the word curry. I'm sorry.
Honestly, like, sure.
All right, I think we kind of got the gist there, too.
Oh, God, this is so confusing, even when we have the text.
Right, what about that part where... Okay, I'm going to try to read that one part again. Tiffany edges closer to Amber as she blocks Amber's punch. She kicks at Amber, tripping Tiffany.
I don't know. Kicking your own ass, I guess. All right. Yeah, so that's... Yeah.
A couple scenes from... Listen. Stop writing screenplays, everyone, I guess, because...
Please stop.
Or stop disguising books, screenplays as books, I suppose.
Yes. So...
Let's get to our final new segment here, Paris.
Can we fix it?
No. Listen, I don't think... Okay, let's boil it down bare bones to the itty little bits here of there's a girl fight tournament with a bunch of ladies fighting each other. You would, to make it anything decent, you would have to make it some extremely over-the-top, tongue-in-cheek send-up of, I don't know, tournament fighter movies featuring
Chris,
women.
Isn't this just that fucking video game?
No More Heroes, you mean?
No. The one with the fucking, it's just girl fights it's a video.
I mean, there's a lot of those.
It's really popular.
Dead or Alive. You're saying Dead or
Alive. Thank you. Yes.
So they don't actually murder each other in Dead or Alive, I think, because they keep coming back later on in the story to fight each other once more.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, essentially, that is the game series with boob jiggle tech in it.
Yes,
so
yes, it is.
Pretty much right. It's probably a Dead or Alive, but deader. And so, yeah, the only way I can imagine fixing this up is to make it purposefully over the top and satirical to the point where you can clearly tell it's supposed to be absurd. But that's definitely not the case here. It's supposed to be, oh, look at all the blood and guts. It's so cool. And also maybe give the characters more personality beyond, oh, this is a goth one. This one's got a kid. This one has a gamer girl outfit on.
Yeah, I mean, for me... All right, here's my piece about it. This dude obviously has a serious fixation with women fighting each other and evidently has the money to bankroll every fucking form of media known to man with the same plot over and over again with different models. I don't think the world needs something like this. Like, you could, if you want to see women fighting each other, you could watch real MMA fights or other specific martial arts fights if that's your thing. And not to mention, I'm sure there's already mountains of porn like this, which this kind of comes off to me as porn, intended to be pornographic.
Minus, the murder and death part.
Some people are into that, right?
Sure, but most girl fighty porn is just hey, they're all oiled up and they're wrestling, and whoever wins gets to come.
Yeah, so I think that I just feel like this D-grade level of thing doesn't need to exist. There's already CB and I'm sure an A-grade levels of this. It's whether you're looking for actual fighters fighting, you could watch a fucking Bellator fight or Lion fights or UFC, and you could see good female fighters actually fighting Like, I don't understand why.
If you need the murder and death, go play a Mortal Kombat. That's a bunch of old ladies fighting each other.
Hey, I'm sure that's something someone wants to, right?
Old lady fights.
Or if you want, like, the pornier version, like, I'm sure there's plenty of porn like this.
Just go to Pornhub. Just go to Pornhub and literally type in sex fight, and you know what? It'll be real easy to come across.
And so the other reason I feel like this is unsalvageable, and the other reason I hate it, other than the fact that obviously it's horribly written, you know, not even an editor could save this, is my point. I had to strip everything except Girl Fight Tournament from it to even begin. Right, yeah, you have to boil it down to the literally one thing, the one phrase you could sum it up as.
Everything else goes in the trash.
Yeah, but I hate it because it continues to stoke the fire of the popular idea that women who do fight sports are there for the male gaze or it's a sexual thing. When in reality, it's neither of those things. Women who do fight sports do it for the same fucking reasons men do fight sports, and they deserve to be respected for it. And I mean, fight sports are fucking difficult. They are I feel like it's one of the hardest fucking things you can do.
Probably.
For a lot of reasons. And I have a lot of respect for the people who do it. And I just, like, if you ever watch a UFC fight, or like I said, you know, Lion Fights or Bellator or any other promo companies, like, it's not sexy.
No.
Like, just like if you watch the dudes fight, like you watch fucking Diaz brothers or, you know, whoever you support, whatever, it's like a million fighters. It's not, you're not sitting there like, oh man, I can't wait till he fucking fucks him in the butt. Like, no one, no one is watching.
I'm sure there's someone out there waiting for the day that, like, the shorts slip a little too low and finally that person gets what they want. The butt fuck edition of MMA butt fucks.
To be honest,
pay-per-view, $69.
To be honest with you, there is a greater likelihood of fighters shitting themselves during a fight than getting hard, because that actually happens for men and women. Like they get hit so hard, or they're just like so pushed past the point of, you know, tolerance that they shit themselves during fights. It's happened. You can look it up if you really want to see it. Like, you see the stains on shorts, you see the stains on the mat. Like, people lose control of their bodily functions.
Joe Rogan commentating on it over everything. Jamie, zoom in on that shit on the mat. Check it out. Look, she literally shit herself with that hit.
I mean,
I'm Joe Rogan. I'm going to have Alex Jones commentate next to me next week.
No.
But also
thankfully.
Bernie Sanders. Could you imagine a combination Joe Rogan, Alex Jones, Bernie Sanders commentated fight?
What fight would that be that they would be narrating?
Actually, that's going to be what the debates are between Liz Warren and Donald Trump. Bernie's going to have dropped out. It's going to be Liz versus Trump. Alex Jones is going to be ranting off at the side about, there's a conspiracy, they're giving Liz Warren the juice, there's no way she could be able to take on the majesty of Donald Trump otherwise. And Bernie Sanders is going, well, you know, actually, she's a very just fit woman, she just works out, there's nothing wrong with that. You wouldn't know that about anything about that, because you just lie and cheat.
You know, the way that American politics are going, I could believe this future. Like, this... You know,
once again, I predicted the future. I have to close the circle now. Paris.
Give it 50 years and this is what's going to be happening. But yeah, I just...
Wow, look at that right haymaker from Liz right there. That was a fantastic one. Medicare for All would solve that problem, though. She wouldn't have to pay a dime to fix that jaw.
Yeah, so I hate that it perpetuates stereotypes about female fighters. I think that female fighters deserve a lot more respect. Fighters in general, because it's fucking hard.
Can you do that in your Bernie Sanders voice?
I don't have a Bernie Sanders voice.
Listen, these ladies deserve as much respect as any other man in the ring. They get paid 2/3 as much. Unionize, ladies. Unionize. Also, oh my God, Donald Trump just shit himself on the mat.
This is not... And then fucking Alex Jones is like, this is not... This is a strategy. He's gonna use that against Warren in the fight. Oh God! Oh no, he is. Oh no.
All right.
I'm sorry, everyone. This is a late night recording. We're getting
God,
fucking wacky. But
all right.
Anyway, our final decision is don't read this fucking book. Stay away from Kelcey Co. and the peddling of his wares.
Don't write stuff like this either. We don't need it.
No, just go to fucking Pornhub. Is Pornhub the one that's paving roads?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, go to Pornhub.
Pornhub does a lot of good for the world. They have like a whole sex education page.
Yeah, right?
They plant trees and shit.
Fucking go help Pornhub educate people about how to, I don't know, eat a pussy or something, and fucking go help fucking pave a road. Like,
that's definitely a video on Pornhub.
You know, my guess was accurate. But yeah, give them your money. Kelcey Co. does not deserve your money. I don't care how much you want to watch girls punch each other. You want to see some tits. Fucking go somewhere else. Divert your. He's not doing a good enough job
in any of these cases.
Yeah, this is not.
Speaking of giving money.
Oh right. Let's fucking crash this train into the nearest mountain. Thank you to our Patreon supporters. Without these wonderful folks, none of this would be possible. Thank you to Dari. Thank you to Greg, Will, Veronica. Thank you to Dee and Jared, Lynn, Zina, Jakob, Torben, aka Duck King. Thank you to Bobby Blackcat, Ayame, Jensina, and Mayo Cat. If you too want to help support the show, you can do one of 4 things. Like the glorious people we just mentioned, you can head over to patreon.com/join/terrible book club and also become a patron. At the $5 a month level or higher, you can enjoy special video segments, and you can also download audio tracks where Chris and I watch movies or TV show companions to books we've read on the podcast, and, you know, it's kind of fun to feel like I guess you're watching something with us. You can also listen to the show specifically on the Radio Public app. This will passively generate income for the show, so if you can't or are unwilling to directly send us money, you can do this passively by listening to us on that app. So every time you listen to us on Radio Public, you give us 2 cents, and we get an extra $1 bonus if you listen to 3 episodes in a row. So honestly, like, if you just want to download the app, just hit play and listen to 3 episodes and then fucking delete the app, like, whatever, you gave us $1, thanks. You can also share episodes and links to our social media, for various platforms on your social media, or you can tell a friend. Finally, you can always leave a review for the show on iTunes or some other platform. I've actually seen more people doing that recently, so thank you very much to everyone who's left a review. I really appreciate those honest ones. Like, 5 stars is what everyone wants. It's kind of the industry standard if you like a podcast. It's one of those things. It's kind of like those customer surveys at work where like if you get anything less than perfect, it's bad. But honestly, I don't give a shit. I really appreciate those like 3 and 4 star reviews that are more real. But
trying to help us out. Honestly.
Yeah, anything's cool. Thank you for all the newer reviews I've seen. And remember that we enjoy interacting with you. So, we've gotten a few more emails recently and some recommendations via Facebook. Please reach out to us. Whether it's through email, you can email us at terriblebookclub@gmail.com, or through Goodreads. We're also on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I know there was actually someone messaged us a few weeks ago about that fairy tale book I was looking for, and I did actually read the message, and I started doing some investigation, and I'm not sure either of the suggestions are correct, but I haven't had a lot of time, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, haven't had a whole lot of time, but thank you so much to whoever that was. I really should probably have figured out your name before saying this, but whatever, I'm tired. My appreciation is just as real not knowing your name. So thank you, mysterious person. Thank you, mysterious listener, because I really want to find that book, and that it's like this weird thing that's important to me for just no explainable reason. So I
thank you for your effort.
Yeah, and thanks for some of the recent emails and messages for recommendations. We'll get around to that stuff at some point. But it's just nice to hear from people and know people are listening other than the folks that we know personally. We see download numbers, and we know there's like a few hundred of you out there, but we don't know you, and we'd like to know you. So, reach out.
And I promise to do more effort on my part for uploading edited Patreon content. It's been a rough month for me computer-wise.
Yeah, so remember...
I'm back up and running.
So when we did the Final Fantasy VII book episode, we recorded at Chris's house. It was me, Chris, and his brother Adam. If you've listened to the episode, you probably know this. But yeah, Chris's computer shit itself like right after that. And we had recorded both the episode and the movie watch of Advent Children. And Chris thought that it was all lost. But he was able to salvage it, but he had to get a whole new computer. And then... I don't know, something else happened.
Like my Final Cut license wasn't carrying over. I had to buy sell some shit to get a new license. And I just got it up and running. It's a new version. I'm still getting used to it. I'm going to do better. You will have content. We're probably going to do a Cereblo's Torture, whatever we can fit this shit into our crazy schedule right now.
Yeah, life is kind of nuts right now.
I apologize to you Patreon supporters. I will give you reasons to give us money soon.
But honestly, there's so much backlog of content that if you become a patron, there's like 70 posts from. Sure. There's tons of stuff there, and I'm sure not everybody has watched every little thing, so it's fine. But thanks for your patience, everybody, and yeah, we appreciate all of y'all.
Thank you very much for continuing to support us. I love all of you.
That's another episode. I want to keep talking, but not about this, and no one wants to hear me talk about anything else right now. So,
do we want to do like good media we've consumed recently?
Yeah, sure. If you have something like ready to go, maybe you should go first.
I back-to-back read 2 fantasy novels. One was Sabriel by Garth Nix, which my girlfriend gave me for my birthday way back in April. That I finally finished, which was really nice. It had this cool world that was centered around like necromancy, and it had like this weird like magic bell system for doing necromantic shit.
What the fuck book was this? What is it called?
Sabriel by Garth Nix.
Huh, I don't remember this happening. Okay, cool.
Well, I mean, I read it for myself for pleasure.
No, I know. I'm just saying I don't remember you receiving this book at all. I don't know. I just like spaced on it, I guess.
I got it from Rebecca for my birthday, and I probably just didn't mention it to you. It was amongst the gifts she got me. And that was a pretty neat book with a cool magic system. And then I read another cool book with a cool magic system called Mistborn, which I believe you gave me like years ago.
Yeah, I let you borrow that because it was a Christmas gift from my old assistant at my last job. So yeah, I think I probably gave that to you a year or more ago.
It has a fun like metal-based magic system.
Yeah,
which I was really into. There was a couple points in the book where I was like, oh, that's kind of like a plot hole. Like, why did you wait till now to do that big thing that you did? But overall, it was pretty compelling, and I wanted to read through the whole thing the whole time. Good characters, nice action. A nice fantasy novel.
I remember thinking it was fine, but I wasn't so drawn in that I felt like I wanted to keep reading it at the time, just because I kind of have to, like I said, I have a lot of shit going on. I kind of fucking prioritize things, and I was just like, oh, it's fine. But I think maybe if I'd come upon the series when I had more free time, I would have read more of it. But
yeah. Again, that's Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson, if I forgot to mention it before. But it would I like the whole thing about like, oh, it's based around like metals and like pulling yourself towards metal things or pushing it away or some other things based around that. It had a cool set of rules that, I liked watching get established, and like the final fight turned out in a way I didn't expect, even though it felt a little cheap in some ways, but still. Yeah. I don't know, any other good media? Like music or whatever, or TV? I've been listening to a lot more death metal lately because I'm trying to work up ideas for both New Graveborn and my side project of Power Rangers-inspired death metal, which will be coming to a Bandcamp near you eventually once I get a bunch of shit together. I still got to write 2 more songs and get all these vocalists I have lined up and whatnot. I recommend there's a band called Half that I really enjoyed their latest album. Okay. I forgot what that album was called, but it's Half's latest album. And also local heavyweights, Pathogenic, some of my favorite musicians in the area, finally released their album after like 4 or 5 years of it being kind of in limbo or like being worked on. And the effort shows, my friends. The back half of that album, from song 6 onward, has great riffs, great songwriting, fantastic lyrics about the despair and frustration we all feel in current era society. Essentially, if you feel like, hey, I can't believe all you idiots are ruining this for me, go listen to Pathogenic. All right. For me, if we're talking about books, oh boy, I am not doing great. I've been reading the Malazan series. Some of you longtime listeners may remember me talking about this here and there. Chris lent me the 3rd book, Memories of Ice. I've read the first 2. And, ooh, boy, have I not had fucking any time to read. I'm like 50 pages into like a 1,200-page book, and I don't know when I'm going to be able to finish it. So It's my favorite one of the ones I made it through. So
yeah. I'm also reading some book about trees that I thought was going to be really fucking compelling, but it's really fucking boring. And I just, oh man, it's just not. So I'm like struggling to finish this really easy to read, boring book about trees.
I was given a nonfiction book about like the rituals of nighttime or like before sleep things that different cultures would do.
That sounds sick.
Yeah, it was in my girlfriend's bookshelf, and the reason I picked it up is because the blurb on like the review blurb in the bottom left corner of the cover said, it says an exciting anthropology of the shadow realms, which is some Yu-Gi-Oh shit. That
might be a little overselling the concept there, but is it good?
I haven't started to read it yet. It's next on my list after I finished these fantasy novels, so I'm in the mood for some.
All right, don't let me forget about that because that sounds like a book I need to read. But
okay.
I'm also like, oh god, this is so embarrassing. I have some book shame, man. There's 2 books that I'm like very, very gingerly, passively reading, and there's a third one that I've had even longer.
Oh, that's all of us book fans, right? Like we're all just kind of rotating between the books.
No, I'm usually really good about just reading one book at a time and starting and finishing it in, reasonable time, but I don't know, life's been nuts lately. And that is Extremity Retained. It's the history of it's a death metal history book basically, with a bunch of interviews, and it's good, but I don't know, man. I just don't have fucking any time. So those are all the books I'm struggling to get through currently.
All right.
And then for media, music I've been digging lately. So I've been kind of digging this record for a while, but Deva out of Philly, they put out a record called Pulsing Dark Absorptions, and fuck, does that shit rip your goddamn face off every time. I saw it came out actually late 2018, but it feels like a 2019 record to me. I saw them at Ralph's like a long time ago. I don't know, probably in the fall. And God, their vocalist is just such a great standalone frontman. As a standalone vocalist myself, and by that I mean a vocalist who isn't also playing like bass or guitar or drums or something. It's a tough job up there. Like you gotta fucking do shit with your body and your face and hands and whatever. And man, he was so compelling. And like that record, it's such a good record. It's short. It's fucking, it's so great. Like if you're into, if you kind of celebrate like the thrashier, angrier parts of Dark Throne, or if you just like I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Check it out. It's a great record. I've also really been into this record by this guy who it's a guy, but he has other musicians. But it's a band called Sabir or Saber. I would say Sabir because it has an umlaut on the I, which is dumb. But man, it's just like it's like Wasp Cauldron. Like if you took Wasp and Cauldron,
I remember you showing this to me and I was super into it.
Oh dude, it's like sleazy fucking good time shit. Like honestly, not the most PC shit in the world. I'm gonna be real upfront about that.
Wasn't there boobs on the cover?
Yeah, there's like a sexy fantasy drawing, but like the lyrics are fucking sleazy. But man, I have been playing that a bunch and enjoying it a lot just because sometimes it's fun to indulge in some bullshit. And let's see, what else for music? Honestly, I've had a disappointing time lately trying to get into some releases. So, like my band is in a genre called epic doom metal or like epic heavy metal. And I gotta say, I'm having a really hard time getting into other bands in that genre.
Listen outside of it, man. You're too deep into it to like get enjoyment.
No, that's not it. Nobody has fucking riffs, Chris. Like, there's no riffs. Like, people, you need riffs.
Yeah, you know what? I'm right there with you. That's what I'm trying to bring back to this whole deathcore thing, I guess. So.
Yeah, and so, like, for example, there's a band called Atlantean Codex that just put out a record, and people are like, oh, man, it's going to be the record of the year. Like, this is my album of the year. And I listened to it, and it was, like, so forgettable to me. And then same, like, well, I haven't heard the whole record, but there's a band called Erodrin, and I've played shows with their like the main dude in the band. I've played shows with his other band Blizzaro, and Blizzaro's great. And Erodrin like has put out some stuff that was really good, but like I listened to the new track and I was just like, I don't know, this is fine. Like, it's not bad. I don't know. I don't want to come off as being so negative. I'm not saying that these records are bad or I hate them or I'm going to tell you not to listen to them. They're not grabbing me. They're not doing anything for my soul. Like, I don't know. They're just not. This. Dude, and I hate to say it, but like even the new Crip Sermon record, like I fucking love Crip Sermon. Like I'm going to see them. I'll be in Brooklyn again soon if anyone cares. To see Crip Sermon and Visigoth and Sanhedrin. And like I love Crip Sermon. I'm always going to love that band. But like their new record it's just like, you know how when you listen to something and it fucking just like, it just sinks its claws into you and you're compelled to listen over and over again. It's not happening for me with this record, and it's just so disappointing because I don't know. Yeah, so I guess I'm having a real hard time lately with things like in my genre, but you know.
Might I recommend minimally the back half of the new Pathogenic record? I know it's not exactly your style. It's not like deathcore, I would say, or anything. Very technical, very progressive. And I think if you read the lyrics along with it, it's a pretty great experience. And if you don't want to listen to the whole thing, I recommend you listen from track 6, Suicide Itch, onward. It's really good. I mean, yeah, I'll give it a go because, you know, I'll try it once. But yeah, I don't know. I guess that was just my weird digression about how I'm struggling to enjoy things in the genre that I play in, which I think that's natural. You know how the sausage is made, so you know it's.
No, it's not that. People just, I don't know, man. I need more riffs, please.
I can agree. I think that's all. I mean, do you have anything else to share, good media-wise?
We talked about books. We talked about music. Oh, TV. So, like I said earlier, I just finished watching season 2 of Dark. Kind of took me a while to get there, but Dark is a great show, and you should watch it. Started watching The Dark Crystal, and honestly, found the first episode wicked boring.
I really love that show for like the puppetry and the designs. Well, that's
the thing. I'm a huge sucker for practical effects and puppetry and physical shit, so I was pumped to watch it. And I was watching it, you know, with a friend, and we were both just like nodding by the end of it. Like,
I really like any scene with the Skeksis in it. I love all the shit that's happening with anything with them.
I think, I'm definitely gonna go back for episode 2 because, like I said, I'm a sucker for practical shit,
and least also because every little creature, I want all of them,
and also because I'm a completionist. Were you not disturbed by the wheel creatures? Because I was disturbed by the wheel creatures.
I thought they were adorable,
but like, how miserable is it to be a wheel?
Yeah, well,
like,
you know,
y'all have all this technology, but you can't fucking make a wheel that isn't alive. Like, can we fix this?
Maybe having intelligent wheels is better.
I don't know, man. Maybe, but yeah. I don't know. I think I don't have a lot of time to like watch shit, so that's. I don't know. I guess that's it for me. So hopefully anyone that's still there.
Yeah. This has been Paris and Crystal's Good Media segment. Yeah. And with that, we already did the rest of the goodbyes, so we can just say bye, Paris.
Goodbye, Paris.